Hello everyone, and welcome to another test bench video. Now this is my HD7950 running with the EVC2SX from Elmo Labs. So this is this little board right here, and this I2C interface cable is going to the a pre-made connector that I just soldered some pins to on the HD7950 reference board. And yeah, so if you watched the previous video, that actually turned out to be an I2C interface, and I'm now running, well, I'm sort of doing a demo run of the 7950 in Valley. This OS is pretty new. I messed around with some memory strap modding on this card, and I broke both of my test bench OSs in the process. Because I used the BIOS for a Tahiti XT, I think. On this card has a Tahiti Pro, so that caused some problems and broke the OSs. So this is a new install. I'm also running a 2019 driver because I got issues with the newer ones, but you can see it's running. It is overclocked. And here on my daily system, so that's my daily system. Made a video about it a while back, and here we have the EVC2 software. So this is not gonna be like a tutorial on how to use the EVC2SX, because I've only used it on this card. I tried it on my 790 Ti Matrix, and I've had some pretty big problems. Like the best I got was like apply the voltage for 1 second, and then it went back to stock, and then the software crashed. I already talked to Elmo on it about it on his Discord, and well, let's say he's also a bit confused about the errors. So, yeah, might get it fixed, might not. So, yeah, it's only worked on this card yet, but it's working kinda well. So, it is in CHL8228G on the 7950. And here we have the, well, control panel. Depending on what controller your card has, you're going to see different things here. This one specifically is controlling core and memory, so we have 2 voltages we can adjust here with just one controller. You can even see like that it's running in 6+1 phase configurations or 6 vCore 1 memory. We do not have VDDCI control, sadly, and I don't think it supports the controller for that. Like you can, when you go into I2C and say find devices, it finds these addresses, and you can see I manually added like the CHL8228G is device at address 30. So 70 and 71 are probably different controllers you could talk to, but I know we're going to have to re-edit that. Yeah, like I don't know if the other controllers supported, probably not. There's not that many controllers. Like there's a lot of pretty popular controllers, but like these smaller, like 1 or 2 phase controllers you have for not major power rates, probably not supported. So yeah, and yeah. So wait, we can have monitoring here. We can see the left one is our vCore VRM temperature, the right one is your memory VRM temperature. The fans are not directly on the VRM, so it's kind of running hot, but like that's still okay. I have set a higher switching frequency. It's 300 kHz stock. I've set it to 500. I even tested 700 once, and it worked. But just like, yeah, it works, and it also applies because the VRM gets hotter when you run higher switching frequency, because, well, it sends your efficiency to hell. Then OCP fault, OCP mode, just set to disabled, because that's what was previously limiting this card. I was just hitting overcurrent protection at over 1.3 volts, and if you see here, we are over 1.3. Then we just enable our manual voltage here. I've set 1.7 volts on memory. It actually won't go, like I can like select up to 1.9 volts. It only 1.7 will apply. Anything more, like you can set it. It will let you press apply changes, but if you go with a multimeter on the card, you won't get more than 1.7. Same for this. You can get more than 1.3888. If you like it, it does a weird thing, whereas if you look here, we're actually getting pretty much 1.4. But in idle, we're getting pretty exactly 1.388, and also if I put in something higher than this, the voltage doesn't change. Like if I put something in lower, voltage goes down. If I put something higher, it stays where it is. And then this one, I actually don't know what this does. I've tried setting it higher, it doesn't change anything. Yeah, so that's pretty much for the software side. And yeah, so like the EVC2SX is just connected with a very long USB cable. The included one is kind of short. I found there's a USB Type-C on the EVC. I have a Type-C to micro B connector. Then there's a very long micro B cable. It's going here into a Type-A extender. That's going into my monitor right here because that has a USB hub, and then there's a cable from that USB of the monitor going into the back of my motherboard. But it is working. You can see it right here. It's connected, and I launched the software here, and that's how we get our software. So yeah. Funny thing is also it actually picks up an MSR Afterburner and also GPU-Z when you change the voltage, which is also very interesting because you're just talking to the controller over I2C. It doesn't work for all controllers, but it works for this one. Also, if I set voltage here, I tried, it doesn't apply, but power limit applies and of course clocks apply, so actually we should be able to run 1350. We are on water cooling. And then memory, I actually don't know what memory straps I'm running on this BIOS. Yeah, it's artifacting a bit, so I think I'm running some modded memory straps. Let's just test GPU-Z real quick. To see, yeah, this is artifacting. Memory timings. Yeah, this is running 1375 timing. So the timings you have at 1375 are now the same you get at 1500. So, oh, and the car just crashed. Yeah. Yeah, I probably didn't like that. Let's close the benchmark. Might have been a bit too hot. I should just get those fans closer. I just wanted to show like the let's get the light on. There, that's the connector next to the CHI-818 8228G. So let's get those fans a bit closer. I think the memory just got a bit too hot. And our VRM, VRM heat shouldn't affect stability. So yeah. So the card is on Hynix MFR 2 gigabit. Not the best in my experience. Oh, and the card just froze mega hard. Well, monitoring is still picking up, or is it? Yeah, it is. So, yeah, we might have been a bit more unstable than I thought. So, let's reset this thing. Also turn off the multimeter now. Yeah, so like, I'm nowhere near having this card maxed out. AMD cards are always a bit interesting. The main reason why I'm not using AMD cards as much is just the drivers. They are so annoying. Like, part of why I didn't even bother fixing that previous OS install I had on this was just the driver. Like, installing the driver just breaks things more. And just in general. You can also see like there were 2 operating systems that don't actually exist. Still picked up in the boot manager, so it's doing some weird things. Is that voltage what we are running at? Yeah, it did power off. When you power cycle, you have to reapply your settings. So this is not, it still shows it, but let's apply a bit more, and then let's go back to 1.388. And now you can already see the VRM temperatures rising a bit, just because we now run a higher voltage. And let's close Discord real quick on the test bench, you don't need that. you can see it's picking up again. Let's start GPU Z again. And yeah, so what I was trying to show until I was so rudely interrupted, memory timings. So on AMD cards you like have different memory timing settings, and by the way, that's the memory chip I have. So 2 gigabit Hynix MFR. And usually for every like couple hundred megahertz you get a different straps of memory timings. But you can see these two are the same. Previously I was running these ones on both of these as well, but basically when you lose a lot of frequency from setting tighter timings, it's not really worth it, and I was losing a lot of frequency. I was able to run the memory at 1850 with stock mem timings. With these 1250 timings I wasn't getting over 1600. And it seems that with these timings I'm also not really getting over 1600, so doesn't seem that great. If I had AFR on the card or just Samsung memory, I don't ever get Samsung memory on 28 nanometer cards. It's really hard to get in my region for some reason. I've had two 28 nanometer cards, like all 28 nanometer cards I've ever had. I had two with Samsung memory, and one of them is dead. And the other one also doesn't work because I blew up the PWM controller on that one, so that one I have to wait until I get a replacement. So yeah, all of the other ones are Hynix. Well, one's LP, but that's a 650, and then all the other ones are Hynix. But yeah, MFR seems to be the weakest memory module you can get in 2 gigabit on graphics cards. It still scales the voltage a little bit. But yeah, like in terms of memory strap modding, this seems to be kinda weak. Because like I heard from someone running AFR that they didn't lose any stability from like setting 1250 timings on everything. And I'm losing stability from setting 1375 timings on things, so not that great. But yeah, I'm still figuring it out. Like AMD card modding is, it's kind of a new thing. Like I've said, like, I don't run AMD cards that much because the driver is just annoying in my opinion. But just because of this little thing, AMD cards just got a lot more interesting because they, like at least the reference cards like the 7950, they just have a pre-made I2C bus interface. So I just solder some pins to that so I can connect the EVC, and then I can just talk to the controller. Now we do have that problem that we can't go over 1.388. That's enough to max the card out at ambient. If I was to put dry ice on this, yeah, I guess I would have to still do a classic feedback mod to get over this kind of voltage. I could still use the EVC to like fine-tune the voltage, but whatever I tell the controller won't be what I actually get, because like feedback mod introduces a voltage offset that the controller isn't aware of. So yeah, maybe same for memory. I would have liked to have up to 1.8 volts red room, because I know there's Samsung chips out there that scale all the way to 1.8 and even past that, but like at some point you get a bit too close to high voltage, like killing voltage. But yeah, it should still all be fixable, like by just doing a old style volt mod. It's just having the EVC is like for ambient overclocking. This is a dream. The EVC is really, really great. So yeah, this is, yeah, I mean, this video serves more or less as a demo of like, hey, I managed to actually overclock something with the EVC. I've actually managed to use it for something I wasn't able to do before, because this one was running into overcurrent protection issues, and I wasn't able to set, I think I was able to set up to 1.35, so we're getting a little bit more. I don't know what I was able to set from memory. Also 1.7. Oh, just 1.3. Huh. yeah, but if I press this, you see this doesn't change. It doesn't change here either. Even though that reading's a little bit off. If we look at the multimeter, yeah, like GPU-Z is reading a bit off. It's pretty close on the memory though. I think that's pretty close to what you actually get on the memory. Also the current readings might be a bit off. But yeah. Also VRM temperature 1 and 2 are the same readings we get in the EVC software. Also if you care, AC quality, that's fairly high on this one, but I've heard on AMD cards AC quality just doesn't do anything, like it doesn't matter. So far from what I've seen, this core is okay. It's not the best one, but it's definitely better than my 7970 Matrix, because my 7970 Matrix went 1300 MHz flat at 1.45 volts. So yeah. This one seems a lot better, because it's running... Well, I actually haven't maxed out the core, but at like 1.388, I did get 1350 to pass Firestrike. I haven't tested anything more yet, because I was having those memory timing and OS issues, but I guess I don't think I'll be getting to 1400. But I might get like 1360, 1370. So I'm, yeah, still working on it. As you can see, it is very late. I'm probably going to go to bed now, but I just wanted to get this thing done. Of like, hey, yep, the EVC2SX works very well. Still got its limitations, but it is definitely a very nice tool to have. Yeah, so I would say that's it. I don't want to get to 20 minutes on this video. Now I have the chance to, for once, make a video that's not 20 minutes or longer. So I would say thank you all for watching, hope you enjoyed, and until next time, goodbye.